and you're already seeing, I mean, you've been coming talking to me for 4 or 5 years now, and it's like every time you come here, there's like more evidence, you're more confident. This is like, now it's just a matter of time before this happens on a big scale with what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. It's as I say, I mean, there's nothing else in my world that I would rather be doing than looking at this. We did the largest microbiome study in the history of the world. You know, we've measured 800 people's microbiome. I mean, what makes it so unique is that we have the perfect environment. I mean, you do a scientific study just to get compliance for the participants in the study, a triple-blind placebo study. Sometimes it takes a year to 2 years just to vet out the people that are going to be in the study. Then the study's usually 5 years, and you got to write the paper. We have the perfect environment. We got 1,500 people, 2,000. Well, London here, 2,500 people. They're eating the same food. They're doing the same thing. They're waking up at the same time. There's a consistent environment. And then our community is like, you want to draw blood? Draw blood. You want to map me? I'd love to be mapped. Do you need this sample? You want to scrape me here? Whatever. And I met with the researcher for the microbiome study, and first thing she said to me is, the preliminary data is mind-blowing. You know, mind-blowing. I mean, the blood that we draw from those people that reach those elegant moments, if we put their blood, their plasma, in the presence of a uterine cancer cell, it shuts the lights out in the mitochondria by 70%. Mitochondria is the energy packet of the cell. It just so tends to correlate with the microbiome study that the particular microbiomes that are elevated in cancer tend to go down. The particular microbiome that causes a resistance to cancer treatment or cancer improving, that when this one is elevated, we know that the cancer treatment or whatever isn't going to respond. We see that microbiome significantly suppressed. It's kind of following the testimony that we're getting with a lot of people. So there's this strong correlation that's going on. So we're doing our best to measure all kinds of different things. And now our new study that we're doing at the end of August, we're curious to see if we take advanced meditators, not novice meditators, advanced meditators, and do the same thing. Give them a new model, stretch them past the point where they normally stop, give them numerous opportunities to experience it, do pre and post measurements, and see if we can replicate the same changes in advanced meditators that we're getting in novice meditators, because at the end of 7 days with novice meditators, they look like advanced meditators. So how do we get advanced meditators to that next level? Can we reproduce the same model, stretch them a little bit further, and see if we can produce those same biological changes? You know, we're curious.
Do you think the world is more stressed out over the past 2 years with war and sickness and inflation and all these things coming at us? I mean, do you feel when you go to your events, or do you see that there's a bigger need for this work? Or is this the way humans always are? Do we always have something that's pulling us down? The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.
You know, I think that this is a really interesting time in history. I mean, never in my life, and I've been on the planet here for a good amount of time, never in my life have I witnessed anything like we're witnessing currently. You know, there's so many things that first of all, no matter where I am or who I talk to, whatever their belief is, the most common theme is something doesn't feel right. Something just doesn't feel right to the majority of people. They can't put their finger on it. But if you look at technology, you look at all the different things going, we're losing some control in the way that we live our lives, and so much information is telling us how to think. You know, I mean, I never want to tell people what to think. I want to give them information to cause them to think. So it's a kind of a wild time, because whether it's the economy, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's the environment, whether it's medicine, whether it's journalism, whether it's education, a lot of these systems are beginning to implode because they can't sustain themselves currently. And I think that the big challenge is to not react at the same level of consciousness as the consciousness that has created it. So collective networks of observers determine reality. And it's not the number of people. It's not the amount of energy. We're studying this. It's the most coherent signal that begins to affect reality. So community is the future. I don't believe that any government, any religion, no offense, any healthcare plan is really going to take care of people at this point. We've got to learn how to take care of each other. And that's a whole new model. That model of cooperation is what allows a species to thrive. And in this time in history, this is such an essential time to show people what courage looks like, to show people what compassion and love look like, to show people, demonstrate it, live the prayer, be the example. I mean, so that when you show up and someone says, you're different, something's different about you. You're not giving them any smack. You're not giving them any philosophy. You're demonstrating who you are to the world so that you can say to others, this is the behavior that I'm demonstrating. You can model that behavior because of mirror neurons. So while things are beginning to collapse, if we get angry, we get fearful, we get segregated, we get, stress creates a division in community. Everybody gets selfish. You can fracture community in that way. I think if community is the asset, and to me, community is the biggest asset for me. Our community is a very strong community. A community that's aware of other possibilities won't make the same choice. A community that has overcome their emotions that are built in survival, you won't capture their attention and program them as quickly.